It's a hard one to watch.
Yeah, and Coach Hackett is usually a little chatty. It's not tonight. That was just awful to watch. And it was sad because you knew they were sort of in it for a while, Scotty.
Yeah.
As much as they just couldn't get it together in the same spots.
Neither offense could really get it together. I mean, you'll see in the highlights of what it looks. I mean, it was just not an attractive game to watch. Field goals, 7 of them, 0 touchdowns. It was a tough one to watch, just not very fun.
And you know, they talked a little bit about that interception that Russell Wilson threw. And you know, on Sunday, it was all about holding on to the football again.
Right.
We had the same thing with Melvin Gordon. And then just other silly mistakes almost.
Right, 2 for 15 on third down tonight. Red zone struggles continued. All of the problems we've seen the Broncos have, it didn't seem like any of them were fixed tonight. The defense was great, 6 sacks, 2 interceptions, both of them by Caden Stearns. That was nice to see, but I mean, the Broncos had a chance to do something amazing. We just mentioned Caden Stearns. Rod Mackey is live with him right now.
Scotty, thank you very much. Caden, how tough was this loss for you?
Going back to the drawing board at this stage in the game is not that comforting.
No, especially because the schedule gets harder and harder and harder. I mean, they play in Los Angeles against the Chargers next Monday. I know they have 11 days. I think it's a good time to have 11 days. It's not a bye week, but Thursday nights are hard. That's not giving them any sort of, excuse. But Thursdays are hard. They're going to have a week and a half to try to go back to the drawing board. But it really was a struggle of a night. The defense was great, though. I mean, 2 interceptions by Caden Stearns, who we just talked to, 6 sacks on the night for that Denver defense. Matt Ryan looked lost all evening long, but the offense was just abysmal. Russell Wilson threw 2 interceptions, one of them right there in the end zone with a chance to finish the game. Fans actually left the stadium when the ball game was going into overtime. It was tied. Colts hit a field goal. Broncos lose it. Rod is with Bradley Chubb right now live.
We got it? Okay, guys, thank you very much. We are here.
Yeah, there are times when I thought, okay, the defense is going to win this game. They're going to actually run it into the end zone.
You're thinking they've got to get a pick 6.
Yeah,
have to.
Exactly. That was the frustrating part when you look at everything. And even a blocked punt.
Right. You know, it's got to be hard for a guy like Bradley Chubb right there.
Yeah.
He played a great game. Rod said 2.5 sacks. He had 7 tackles tonight, forced a fumble. Defense had 2 picks, 6 sacks in the night. They only gave up 9 points, 3 field goals. And yet here they are in a post-game locker room sad, talking about, we got to figure it out. Coach is telling us going back to the drawing board. That's a tough spot to be in for a defense that was fantastic tonight.
And you don't want things to fracture because one side of the ball is doing really well. But it appears that they really have got a pretty good connection right now. But boy,
We got to see that connection, right? That's got to translate to what's happening on the field.
And you know what? Randy Gregory being out tonight, the edge rusher on the Broncos. Bradley Chubb stepped up. Baron Browning stepped up for the first 3.5 quarters, and then he had to leave the game with a wrist injury.
Yeah.
And so it seems like, hey, things are going good. And then something like that happens, and something there. Garrett Bowles goes out tonight. The offense wasn't great, but he is an everyday player on the Broncos, and he had to leave the game tonight. So just there's so many bad things that happened. Of course, you can look at that defense, hey, they did all right. But end of the night, you can just keep piling on the poor things that happened for Denver's team today.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I know the commentators were talking about, too, that connection with Jerry Jeudy. But I guess we're going to hear from Melvin Gordon. He had a pretty good night.
Not in that position. Cortland Sutton, KJ Hamler. If none of those guys are on the sideline saying, I want the ball, then they don't really need to be here. So it wasn't just me that wanted the ball. Everybody wanted to win the game, Like I said before in the last interview, we're comfortable with whatever coach called because we believe in any guy on this roster. That's why they out there. We just came up short. The Colts, was a better team and made the play at the end to win the game for their team.
Do you go home on a night like this and say, how the hell did we lose that football game?
Well, we know we dropped the ball on this. We could have played better offensively. We know that. We don't need to, beat ourselves across the head about it. The media will do that enough. We just got to stay together. Times like this. I've been in this position before and came out on top. So we fine. We fine. It's early. We fine. The way our defense is playing, they holding it down for us. But we going to figure it out.
Melvin Gordon live in the Broncos locker room. Melvin, what What was going on with the offense today? It seemed like you guys might have been a little out of sync. Was it more what the Colts were doing, or just sort of not on the same page on offense?
And it's just us. We just got to get in the rhythm. We got to get in the rhythm. We got to stop making mistakes, and we got to be sharp on the details. We're a way better, football team offensively than we've shown the past few weeks, and that's probably what's disappointing more than anything. You could blame the coach, you could blame this, you could blame that, but at the end of the day, it just comes down to us going out there and doing and getting the job done. And we fell short on that, but like I said, it's early, and we're gonna bounce back because we got the guys to do it.
After everything you've been through this week, how vindicating was today to go out there and play well and run the ball like you can?
Well, I didn't play well enough, and I didn't run the ball well enough because we didn't come out, victorious. So it's nothing to be happy about or excited about. I'm just have my ears pinned back for next week because we're Monday because we got a tough opponent with the Chargers.
Russell's such a tough competitor, and he's not known to make mistakes. It was very un-Russ-like with those 2 interceptions today. Tough for you guys to kind of mentally overcome. It's like, boy, it just seems like when it rains, it pours.
Yeah, we just all got to be better, man. We all got to be better. I don't want Russ to feel like.
Guys, we'll send it back to you.
11 days to think about that loss.
But Gordon's saying, we're in a good position to bounce back. And what was this, a few years ago? Peyton Manning started the season 2-3, but
right.
I don't know if Russell's playing like Peyton now.
It's a very different scenario.
Yeah.
But it's a good way to look at it. Silver lining, Melvin ran the ball for 54 yards, didn't fumble today.
Right. And you know what? I mean, you could sense how devastated he was on Sunday, his emotions. So he's still talking about being a team and supporting his quarterback who supported him.
Mature
after that
answer
game.
Twice, 2 games in a row.
So we'll be right back.
I love that guy.
Looks like we lost Dalton there.
He looked good in that Wiggins Tigers hat, though. Wiggins High School hat. Looks good.
He on Sunday, he had a lot to say, too, about this loss. I mean, he definitely still believes.
With the way that you guys play, did you kind of so much? Guys, we'll send it back to you.
It definitely does hurt. 2-3, first loss of the season at home. But Dalton's right. I mean, long season, Ken. Let's keep things up, right?
Yeah. Well, he says he believes in the coach. I don't know how much Broncos Nation is going to feel the same.
The belief needs to be spread to the fans right now.
There you go.
But you know what? They seem to know what's going on. So hopefully we'll get back to more from you, Scotty.
Yeah.
We're going to touch on some news and get back to what happened in Mile High Stadium. In the moments after a...
Hi, everybody. I'm Scotty Gange. Russell Wilson was asked this week, what does progress mean to you? He said winning, nothing more. After tonight, win or lose, I don't know if anybody would call this progress.
Huge opportunity to go do it. Huge opportunity to go do it. One play at a time, locked in together. Whatever it takes, we're going to get this thing done. We're going to get this thing done. Whatever it takes, let's go. Let's go. Hey, 1 on 3. 1, 2, 3, win.
Broncos and Colts. Now, a number of storylines tonight. Phillip Lindsay returns to Denver. Melvin Gordon looking for a bounce-back game. 2 of the very worst offenses in the NFL. There wasn't much firepower early. Indy punted on their first 5 drives. Then Broncos' Caden Stearns intercepted Matt Ryan. He had 2 on the night. The Broncos' defense was solid. 6 sacks in the evening. They were lights out. The offense, though, was awful. Red zone and third down struggles continued. Russell Wilson threw this interception. His nearest guy wasn't within 10 yards of him. He threw another red zone pick not long after. Fans literally left the stadium as the game was going into overtime. The Colts hit a field goal, the 7th of the night. Broncos had a chance to respond. They choose to go for it on 4th down. Doesn't work. Broncos lose by 3.
I'm just proud of the way this team's come together, man. We no quit. Everybody's fighting to the last whistle. It's not going our way right now, unfortunately, but I feel like it's going to change.
Rod Mackey and Mike Kliss were at Empower Field for the action. Hi, guys.
We're waiting for Russell Wilson to get to the podium and talk a little bit. He usually just oozes positivity, even in difficult situations, but it'll be interesting to hear what he has to say tonight.
It really will, especially after a struggle of a night. No touchdowns, 2 interceptions thrown in front of 71,000 people at Empower Field to lose his first game at Mile High here in Denver. It will be interesting to see. I know you mentioned we'll watch it tomorrow morning on 9 News, probably all weekend long, all week long. Probably going to hear about this game for a while.
Yeah, like you say, 11 days to get it together for the
11 days
Chargers.
for the Chargers.
Not going to be an easy one.
No.
The good news is tomorrow is Friday.
Oh, there you go, kid, with the positivity.
All right.